Good day, the Edo people, my lovely Edo citizens and residents in Edo states. The time has come for us to, the election period is right here, right now, and of course, people are drumming right here, whistle blowing and everything right now. And to that end, it is my honor to present to you the candidate of NNPP, Azema, Azena. Of course, there are so many candidates for this election. We are not just here to have an election in futility. Of course, we must consider the high level of suffering, the high level of impoverishment that every successive government has already placed us as a state and even as a nation. And right now, since the new government has come to be, permit me to say, if you agree with me, that there has been a negative shift, yes, a paradigm shift to the left, and to that end, that the Edo people are two to three times more impoverished than the way they were 2, 3 years ago. Well, my name is Sahiri Sylvester Say it is important I let you know who I am. I'm a medical scientist. Also, I was a gubernatorial hopeful in this ongoing Edo State governorship election. But for personal reasons and for personal grounds, I had to at least drop my ambition. And And I find it necessary and important for us to for me to pick my tent with Azena, the NNPP candidate. There's no guessing the fact that for years, two parties have dominated the governance of Edo State. And we can reliably say that their performance is however shabby. And we are not going to be reaffirming what has been. We need to look outwards. We need to check at least if you are doing if you are doing some checks, you have to check what has been the problem so that you don't keep doing that. Maybe it doesn't have to be a reoccurring decimal. Rephrasing things that are not making us to progress. Edo as a state and Nigeria as a country, we are very rich. I'm surprised, in spite of our rich natural resources and human resources, um, we are still, however, far more impoverished. I've been in talk with, of course, the think tank of Azena, and it's been as it's been stated that we're going to change the narrative of what has been to a positive narration. And now, how does he intend to do this? One, we know that life is very, very. The nature of life we are living right here, right now, the cost of things, commodities and services have become so expensive. And to that end, the governor to be Azema Azena has decided to look inwards as to however improve. Not just because the 70,000 naira minimum wage is relatively small, however, when you look at the value, the purchasing power of that money. Now, but how does he intend to generate his own revenue? Of course, usually the federal government gives allocation to state, but there's no law. Federal government have not said that the state cannot generate its own revenue. And to that end, that is why Zema, of course, in close talk, the group has a think tank, in close talk with the think tank, and what the governor intends to do is that one, he's going to pursue a whole lot of things that will improve the revenue. There is going to be a revenue driven situation in Edo State the moment he has home office. And to that end, of course, there's going to be welfare packages to all Edo indigenous. We cannot be living like this because one, whatever you are paid is peanuts. The women in the market, their successes or failures is driven by what the government pump into the circulation. The money civil servants are paid, however, and a lot more. And right now, of course, the narrative has always been that we are paid monthly salary. But this governor, the energetic governor, Azena, a young man, even the deputy is quite a young lady. Because the intention is that by the time he comes into governance, it will be weekly payment. From weekly payment, we start weekly payment, then bi-weekly payment. Not that probably the money that the wages are paid now will be divided into weekly. No, can improve on the money and be paying it weekly. At least we need to measure with those in the outside world, because I mean in outside Nigeria, not the outside, yes, outside Nigeria, other countries, whereby of course their income per head is relatively low, is high. Now, how does he intend to achieve all of this? Are they just mere political propaganda, or what does he intend to do? How does he intend to achieve this? Now, um, he's going to create so many revenue-driven situations. Like one, he's going to encourage production of goods and services in all frontiers. And those states will serve as a stepping stone to to a conscious-driven economy. Yes, economy cannot be better without production of goods and services. But to some extent, we will not be in its production of goods and services. Most of the things that we have, either services or goods, are foreign. Now, how he's going to generate all ministries, of course, there are already ministries established, and he has said that all ministries will be empowered to generate revenues. Let's start with the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education right now, oftentimes, is largely funded by the sitting government. They rarely generate revenue, but he wants to turn every ministry to a revenue-based driven ministry. For example, the colleges, the universities, polytechnics, and other tertiary institutions. And they will be subjected to at least creative revenues on their own. We are not just talking about, oh, the payment of school fees as one source of revenue. No. Now, you must recall that one of the departments or colleges that drives revenue to university is usually the teaching hospitals. Right now, the government wants to make it, to go across board so that all departments, colleges, and faculties will be revenue-driven departments, faculties, and colleges, as the case may be, like the engineering departments, the engineering faculty, and the sub departments, and the state in engineering faculty. I'm talking to you right now because of the input of engineers. There's nothing wrong for engineers to produce commodities. Instead of we start with, let's say, the automobile engineering. Instead of pushing your vehicles to our side, the automobile engineering department will employ technicians, artisans, yes, and craftsmen in the departments. They work with the engineers so that all vehicles, repairs will be done there. Production of motor parts and every other thing with the provisions of raw material by the state government, and also with alliance with some external bodies. Those departments will be producing parts and vehicles. Yes, that's why now, of course, the revenue that will be driven, that will be gotten from that, will go into the state purse and also into the university purse as well. Now, we look at other forms, other departments, probably the law departments, the law faculty. The law faculty gives services. The law faculty, of course, laws will be made. The state assembly will promulgate laws that the law faculty can create open services to our side as a revenue driven situation. You come to agriculture, agri agro based situation. Any country without an agro based foundation is bound to die because medications may be generated from agro based materials or produce, as the case may be. Yes, we live on agri produce, whether plants or animals. And these plants and animals can further be subjected to production of super things, however. So there's going to be greater emphasis in Department of Faculty of Agriculture to ensure that there's heavy production. And no project will just be passed like that without basic emphasis on research. So every department in department faculty of agriculture will ensure that at least they are generating revenue in one way or the other. The essence of life is for one to survive. That is what we discuss in our expanded meeting at the NNPP. So that is only agric now, engineering. What about other faculties or departments? They all have one or two services or commodities they can produce. Now you can see if this is done, however, of course the university will be driving revenues to the states. Will be driving to not just be, oh, the government funded university all the way. The university will be a stepping stone for greater technological advancement. That is what this man want to advance. And he also has the thinking that one, they are teachers. Because everybody, be you whatever profession you may be, you were all taught by teachers. It is high time the teachers are recognized right here, right now. They need to have a clear pay package. So that teachers should be among the highest earners in Edo State years. From the classroom teachers, primary school, secondary school to university teachers. They should be the highest earners. If you are a physician, a clinician, a medical scientist, a lawyer, a nurse, whatever you may be, you were all taught by teachers. If you're a general in the army, whatever, you were all taught by teachers. So Azena, the governorship kind of NNPP, as showed here. Of course, she's so much moved to ensure that he rebrands education. Yes, education, health, and scientific and research in Edo State. Now, the group has also thought it wide that there's going to be a line which probably a proposed constitution that will be forwarded to National Assembly. He has also said that, of course, he's going to create a research team. Yes, their focus will just be creativity and invention. Yes, creativity and invention. And you go into the unknown to create what has not been and reaffirm those things that are already known. And they will just, as sports people are probably encouraged by remuneration, of course, people that come with great discoveries, inventions, will also be encouraged. Will be given awards in all circumstances, and their discoveries and invention will be looked into, and vis-a-vis the government will now fund it to ensure that it comes to low light, limelight at the end of the day, so that it will come out as services or commodities depending on the nature of research. We are evolving. We are evolving, however, and we also discover that internet is also another base thing. And the governor is so moved with the nature of internet that we have around the world right now. And services cannot just only be created on other grounds. It also is also of the opinion that services in the area of internet creation. What kind of internet creation? Yes, I'm talking to you right now through the American internet operating system. So, mind intended governor, Azena, has the belief that in the record time, the Edo people, of course, we've got computer programmers and the lot more. They're going to work towards creating our own computer operating system. So that it should not be seen that our archives is still, however, documented by the American computer operating system. No, he's going to create different kind of search engines, just as we have various kinds of search engines, the Google, MSN, or whatever things like that. So, and he's also going to create a lot of social medias. We have seen TikTok as a social media, Facebook as social media, Yahoo, all of those things. Yes, Yahoo is a search engine, and we have seen the different kinds of social media, however. And these are service driven social medias, dropping food revenues to the state. So I was in discussion uh, with the think tank who are in charge of this because the design has been done. How some of this, how we can have a major social media in place. People created WhatsApp, people created Facebook, people created different forms of social medias and the other TikTok. The Chinese are in charge of TikTok, and TikTok has taken the world by storm. And of course, God knows the kind of money TikTok is making, or the kind of revenues TikTok app is driving to the Chinese economy. So we don't only create. I mean, we are not only going to go into production of goods, but also production of services. The Azema Group decided to look around and discover that everything in nature has economic values. Yes, everything in nature has economic values, and those things can be turned into production of goods and services. And God willing, the Edo people they are very intelligent and creative, except that the problem have been is bad governance. Bad governance, that's the problem we've heard over time. All right, now if you decide to complete to rebrand what has been to the amazement of the Edo people. To that end, we remain impoverished. I don't know what to say. That would be too bad. That is why we need to look inwards without regards to, oh, this is my brother. What if my brother cannot do it? If he does not have the knowledge, the skills, you don't need to come and be learning on the job. You must have your blueprint before you come to governance. You must have everything in mind. This is what you want to do. You can remember a fortnight there was a governorship debate, and to the greatest surprise of all and sundry, a major stakeholder, a major governorship aspirant candidate did not show up. Now, what could be responsible? We don't know. Could it be that because maybe um, we'll have one-on-one interaction with the media man or whatever, or the person is not sure of himself. If you are a qualified governor to be, you must be good in action. You must be good in words. Yes, you must be good in actions. You must be good in words. Your spoken language, your written language, and also your actions. All written brought together. So we are not going to be saying this is my brother or this is my sister. We have to go out there to savage the Edo State. And if we succeed in Edo State will be a stepping stone for greater Nigeria in the future. Now, the federal government can learn from developmental strategies of the Edo people vis-a-vis Edo people begin to, at least the government can borrow a leave, and then from there we take it up. Not to stop us from being more advanced and developed than the United States, than China, than Europe. Yes, we can get started right here in Edo States without, however, affirming some of those old things that we've been doing. The time has come for us to change the narrative, dear ones, and that is why I'm telling you to rally around Azemhe, Azena. I wouldn't have a bold enough to let you know this because I just told you a while ago that I was a governorship hopeful, however. Yes, my ideas, the ideas I've always had has also been brought to the party so that everybody can work together for a better tomorrow, for a better Nigeria, for better Edo people. Yes. Now, the fattest economic goals now that says very well is smartphone. Yes. Smartphone is the fastest economic commodity that says very well. And the party, the people, the thinkers have also the economic thinkers have also decided that once voted into power, once this our amiable governor, a very young man for that matter, and the deputy is also young. They go to look inwards to see how phones can be produced, particularly smartphones. Yes, that's the fastest, the highest selling electronics right now in the world. We've got engineers and all of them right there. The engineers are going to be challenged. The vice chancellors are going to be challenged. The HODs of engineering, HODs of all various departments, they are going to be challenged. Because when you challenge groups, because what we lay emphasis slightly on is sports. We spend billions of naira on sports. We also want to spend that same amount to challenge the academians, not only the academians, the artisans, the craftsmen. When you want to succeed, you must understand that the role of the craftsman, the role of the artisan in scientific and technological development. That is what this group wants to front to ensure that the Edo people, the Edo state becomes a technologically advanced state in Nigeria and also in the world. So to that end, the development of smartphone, you can look at this beautiful and handsome governor right here, right now. So it's already thinking of that. Of course, to establish a phone factory is quite expensive, however. Yes, it's quite expensive. But you build it. But it's not just that. Maybe when he comes, he's not a baby, he knows what to do. When you want to establish a factory in that regards, appropriate bill will be sent to National Assembly, first to the State Assembly, then a state bill will be sent to National Assembly for development. And I'm sure while that is ongoing, the government will also have their own share. I mean, the federal government will have their own input, their own shares. But the plans has already, it's not just, though we may say at the planning stage, but everything has been documented the way it is going to be. And now we'll talk about AI, artificial intelligence. The world is going AI, and the AI is going to be introduced in every goods and services that is being produced. So be rest assured that this governor to be Azena is out to ensure that Edo State comes out to be one of the strongest technology and scientific advanced states. He wants to ensure that at least there's revenue-driven situations. He wants to ensure that at least everybody in Edo State is turned to be a millionaire. I cannot say why we deliberately impoverish, why people are deliberately impoverished. No. When everything around us is economic goods and services, yes. And he has also, however, said that because one of the major challenges that we have heard in Edo State and Nigeria is one, stealing from the state treasury. So if all this money that have been stolen from Nigeria, it were invested in Nigeria, Nigeria will be better for it. In one of my videos, I did mention that we as a country, we are richer than the US, the Europe, because if you amount the amount of dollars, huge amount of dollars, in hundreds of millions, in hundreds millions of dollars and billions, if such money leaves the US Treasury, the European Treasury, or the Middle East Treasury, they will get crushed. But still, we are surviving. So there's going to be further laws and also execution of those laws so that money cannot just leave the states like that. Every money within the state, the taxpayers' money will be spent within the state, and the overall end, all those individuals will be made millionaires in a record time, within a short time, however. Then he also have said that there's going to be incentives that will be given, these social welfare packages, because Nigerians are hungry. There's going to be social welfare packages will be given to so many people, however, yes. Because we don't have social welfare packages. Our social welfare packages is to some extent ridiculed. So he actually looked at my social welfare bill, which I sent to National Assembly many years ago. So and those social welfare packages are going to be expunged. They are going to be looked into, and if you are the agent, the government will find a way to be taking care of you. You will be placed on steady allowance. A gravid woman, a pregnant woman will be placed on steady allowance. So all of those things are going to be looked into. The government will ensure that every Edo indigenous are better off for it. Those that don't have jobs, those that are still looking for jobs, there's going to be social welfare package so that crime would naturally abate. The best way to curb crime is to provide for the people. That's what we resolve as a think tank. Yes, the NNPP think tank. Yes, the NNPP think tank fronting this my amiable governor for the state. Dear brother, I am talking right here, right now, because not because of anything. I also want the betterment of the Edo people. We have suffered enough. Even if you are giving millions or billions or whatever, you are giving it just a little carrot to cast abroad. Please think. The time has come for us to change things for the better. We can't continue suffering because of our stupidity or because of what our people have made us to be suffering. You are further impoverished. When you are further impoverished, you have not had your breakfast or your lunch. If you are given a 5,000 naira, you quickly change your mind. So, what do these people have? What plans do they have in the midst of nothing? How are they going to ensure that the Edo people come back to be the birds so that at least not to stop the Edo workers, not to stop at least for us to have the workforce in Edo State to be very high, not to stop the workforce in Edo State to be higher than the federal government workforce, and not to stop the Edo government for ensuring that the Edo civil servants or the public servants are among the highest paid workers in the world. Yes, reliably too. The TICA is also working towards state security. The bills will be forwarded to National Assembly from the state government. For state security, there is time for us to have state security. But however, the most important security that we know is provision of goods and services. When people are hungry, when people are impoverished, how do you how do you talk about security? So the most important security is one, the food security. You are able to pay your children's fee, your world's school fees, and a lot more. So, which is what the governor, the amiable governor Azena is out to do to ensure that every Edo indigenous is properly taken care of. Also, he also said that we're going to look into the artisans, the market women. We look at their interests. But first of all, there must be creation of goods and services for all of these people to be catered for. But all the same, there will be immediate goals and long-term goals. The immediate goals and long-term goals so that the state will not, however, suffer. Unnecessary money is being spent on unnecessary things. Those are going to be cut so that we can achieve this. That is what the NNPP candidate wants to do. He wants to drop food on the table. He's not just coming as a governor, he's coming to be your servant. Yes. He's not just coming to be your Lord, as you are saying it. He's coming to be your servant to correct some of those wrongs because there's no other person that can solve our problem for ourselves. It is we, the Edo people, that can solve it for all. It is we, Nigerians, that can solve our problems ourselves. No other person, no foreigner, no white man, or whatever, any other person from other country that can solve our problems for ourselves. It's only we that can solve, and we are our own greatest problems. Why do we amass wealth unnecessarily? You cannot sleep on more than one bed alone, no matter how rich you are. You can't eat beyond what you have here. It's not possible. But we're seeing most of our politicians, they have chains of companies in Dubai, whatever. How many Dubai men, how many Americans, how many of them, how many presidents, how many governors have investments in Edo State or Nigeria? Or even when they are sick, how many of them are flown outside? The reason why this present governor said she's going to revamp the health system, not only in um, the modern health system, even the traditional health system, they're going to revamp them. That's what he said because there's been a whole lot of neglect from what has been the natural medicine, yes, natural herbal medicine to the synthetic one, or yes, the orthodox medicine or medical sciences. She's going to revamp the health sector